stewardship. Again, this is the best way for me. And the best is not always going to look like everybody else's best. Your best is your best. Whatever you can do in this season, girl, that's what you can do. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome home. You know, I'm trying to take myself more seriously this year, my food more seriously this year, not just for like weight loss and calorie tracking, which I do intend to do that, to just be more mindful, but also about the quality of food that I'm consuming this year. Some of the things I like to do are meal prep. Now, meal prep doesn't have to be this big, crazy thing like you see online. People are spending days meal prepping all their lunches, all their dinners, all their breakfasts. It doesn't have to be like that. Everything doesn't have to be all or nothing when it comes to meal prep. You meal prep in the way that works for you. Some people like to meal prep full meals. Some people like to just meal prep their protein and have bagged salad around. Like, you do whatever you feel is best. I was originally gonna do like 12 frozen pizzas from scratch, but that's a little more than I'm really ready to do today. So what I'm gonna focus on today is making 4 pizzas from scratch, 2 for the freezer, 2 for tonight for dinner, or maybe 1 for tonight for dinner. We'll see, depending on how big I make them. Because I like to make a little extra so I can have leftovers tomorrow the boys can take pizza for lunch, for school. I'm also gonna make some little bites, those little small muffin bites. I haven't made them in some time, but once you make a bunch of them, they're frozen. You can keep them in the freezer for whenever you need them. I could put them in the boys' lunchbox to take to school again. Always thinking forward about how I can like really purpose an item for another time, another thing. Also, I'm gonna make Jason and I some egg bites, larger egg bites, in a 12 count muffin tin, ham and cheese, and probably some green onions too, so that we can have those for lunch. I think I have spinach too, but we'll see. And I'm also gonna make chia seed pudding. I have really liked having chia seed pudding. One, I have PCOS, so I try to make things that are going to be high protein, things that are going to make me really full, but aren't going to be too insulin spiky. And I felt really good about eating the chia seed pudding. I feel like it really helps. Also, I don't have a gallbladder. That's probably a little TMI, but I have issues with digestion too. So I like to do things that aren't going to make me too full, that aren't going to irritate my stomach too much. And I feel like that extra fiber from the chia seeds and also the extra protein were really good for me for breakfast in the mornings, and easy because it's 10:39. I haven't had anything but a cup of coffee today, so it helps to have that already meal prep. And then the other thing I want to do today that's very minimal, I woke up my starter. For those of you who don't know, my starter's name is Maslow. You guys know I'm a therapist. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all that stuff. Maslow, like dough. Over-explaining, I know. But I have woken it up. It's been in my freezer or my refrigerator probably for about 6 months. No, I think about a year maybe, because I feel like I didn't use it since I started back in my new job. So she was very hungry, very much ready to come out of hibernation. And so I fed her a couple days ago. It was pretty, like, it was almost like a clay. That's how much it had hardened. And now we've got a good little start on her. She smells amazing. But yeah, we've got her ready to go. So I probably will bake with her either this weekend or on Monday. I'm not in a rush to bake with her right now. I'm just trying to strengthen her, get her back to work. So I look forward to meal prepping with you, and come along. Hey, you guys, this has been probably the longest 3 weeks, month of my life. I was gonna do the voice over for this some time ago, and I ended up getting the flu not once but twice, I'm almost certain. So I am back now. I really am trying to remember kind of the vibe of this video, but I do know that the gist of it is just being super intentional, things that we've already been talking about anyway. So, really the gist of this day is to troubleshoot against my imperfections, my flaws. I saw a post that said, if you are a person who is very intelligent but not very disciplined, to use something called the Ulysses method, and I thought that was so on spot for me, which is basically the goal isn't for me to have as much determination or discipline as possible. It is for me to set myself up to have the most success so that I don't have to use discipline. So one of the best examples I can think of is I know I'm a sweet treat at night type of girl. That's just who I am naturally. So if I know that, but I also know that I want to be a person who is more healthy, that eats more whole foods, then I have to either purchase things that align with that, or I need to create things that align with that. And luckily for me, I know how to do both of those things. The crazy part is this chia seed pudding, I love it. Literally, like it's not even just like, oh, it's good and it's also high protein. Enjoy eating it, but the part I don't understand is why I can't make myself do it on a regular basis so it's always available. I'm not a breakfast eater. I try to force myself to eat breakfast. Typically, it ends up being later in the day, closer to lunchtime. But I will say that when I do eat breakfast, I have a better mood, a better disposition during the day. If you don't know, I have PCOS, and so that impacts things like my insulin and my energy levels. And over the last couple of years, I've really tried to find things that kind of help me manage that in the best way possible. But those things are hard to incorporate because it's kind of a chicken and an egg scenario. I don't have a lot of energy because I'm not incorporating these things, but also I'm not incorporating these things because I don't have a lot of energy. And so part of it is just kind of leaning into the things that seem the most manageable right now. As I said at the beginning of the video, you don't have to try to compare yourself to what other people on social media are doing. Those people's lives are curated and made specifically to inspire you. And unfortunately, our lives don't always feel super inspiring. Sometimes they just feel ready and willing to go. I will say things like this, which normally only takes me like 5 minutes to make. I don't know why this day it took so long. Maybe because I was recording. Things like this help me be a better version of myself. So I'll ask you, what are some things that you put off sometimes that you know that if you were to do them, life would just feel a lot easier and more manageable? All right, so now we're gonna move into making the egg bites. I've never made this recipe before. I saw one with cottage cheese, and honestly, I would prefer to do that one. However, I don't have cottage cheese, and I don't want to put this project off anymore. So let's get 8 large eggs. The beautiful thing is everything goes straight into my blender. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have too many eggs. I have a Ninja blender. I bought this blender probably, my husband and I have been married almost 7 years. So almost 7 years ago. I got it like when we first got married. So I don't use her often like other people, but I use her enough and she is still kicking. So we're going to get these eggs put in. While I do that, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit just about meal prep and about stewardship. Again, people have their ideas about what stewardship should look like. And I think when we are not able to recreate that, we feel like we can't do enough. But even for you, if stewardship looks like just buying a bunch of pre-made meals for your house, that doesn't mean you're doing meal prep wrong. You're doing meal prep the way that fits your family. Now, early on in motherhood, I got an eggshell in here. Hold on, y'all. Early on in motherhood, my goal was for us to make things Ooh, I hate that. Us to make things as cost effective as possible. That was the ultimate goal. We were on one income, and I'm home with our 2 boys. Our health insurance at the time had a comma in it. And my goal and my responsibility at that time as a wife was to make things as cheap as possible. That was my goal. Now that I'm working, we're no longer on one income. So our insurance is no longer has a comma in it. I don't necessarily have to make decisions. The same way that I made them before. And honestly, not only do I not have to make decisions the same way I made before, it is not smart for me to make decisions the same way that I made them before. Before, everything was about being cheaper. So that meant that a lot of times everything was done by my hands. I had to do everything cheaper, but a lot of sweat equity had to go into that because I'm cooking everything. I'm making everything from scratch. I was pretty much cooking every day. It was just what needed to be done in that time, in that season. I learned a lot. It taught me a lot. But now it's not smart for me to do everything myself because I'm balancing a lot of things. Like I said, I'm building a business. I'm trying to be more consistent with YouTube. I'm working full time. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. It's gonna burn me out trying to do everything myself. And so now my goal is not to do everything the cheapest way. My goal is to do everything the most effective way. So the only cheese that I have is mozzarella cheese. It's not that serious. It's not gonna be as sharp, but I'm doing it with ham, so I feel like it's okay if I have a milder cheese. And we're gonna do about a half a cup of cheese into that. This is what it's looking like so far. We're gonna do a little bit of salt, and there might have been too much salt, a little bit of pepper. Probably could get away with a little bit more salt just because I'm using a milder cheese. So we're gonna put the lid on this. That's just water. And we're gonna blend this up. Be right back. All right, I'm gonna get everything put in. I'm gonna do a voiceover for the next part, but stewardship. Again, this is the best way for me. And the best is not always gonna look like everybody else's best. Your best is your best. Whatever you can do in this season, girl, that's what you can do. I have finished the egg bites. Let me show them to y'all. It was hard to get them out, so I'm gonna need to purchase a silicone. I'm gonna show y'all the mini ones I have that I'm gonna use for the boys' mini bites, but little bites. But I want a bigger version of these because it was not easy getting those out. Some was left behind, but for the most part, they came out pretty clean. We'll put that away. For the most part, it came out pretty clean. So I'm gonna put these into a Ziploc bag and get these put into the freezer. If there's one thing I want you to take from this video, it is simply just that your best is your best. So just the gist of things, when we're talking about stewardship and showing up in our life, people have their ideas of what that looks like, and they sometimes try to project that onto us. I can remember when I first started doing meal prep, people felt like I was doing too much. Like there's, all these things that I'm trying to do, and I'm making all these things from scratch. LaBray, you don't have to do that. And I don't. You're right. I don't have to do that. That's something I do because it makes me feel proud and it brings meaning to my life. And, when I'm making things like right here, I'm making pizza dough, which, spoiler alert, I did not warm up I didn't warm up the milk. And I don't know what I was doing. Again, this is what happens when you start recording stuff. You lose your senses. I didn't warm up the milk. So basically, it didn't rise, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to troubleshoot that for later. Maybe I'll just make some pizza pockets or something instead of making the whole pizzas, but I end up just putting these away into the freezer for later. So back to what I was saying, you're gonna do what works best for you. Other people may go to the store, or you may go to the store and you may buy pizzas from Sam's Club, those pre-made pizza doughs. That doesn't mean that you're not doing life well. That doesn't mean that you're not being good steward. You steward the way that you feel most capable, the way that you feel that feels most realistic for your life. Again, maybe you don't enjoy cooking. Why would you spend all day, girl, why would you spend all day cooking and doing all that stuff if you don't like it? That's not fun. That's not good stewardship. There'd be things that you could better use your time that would make you feel proud and also make you feel fulfilled. I just enjoy this. This makes me feel good, so that's why I do it. Overall, I think today was a good day, and I think that I made some really good progress. I will say I want to work on streamlining a lot more, and that's the part about just getting in there and doing it, because the more you do it, the more you're like, okay, well, no, I don't like this part of it, or I don't like this, or I feel like this could have been better. And you're not judging yourself, you are exploring, and you're learning more about what you like and what you don't like. So I would encourage you to, again, find one part of your life that you just want to be a better steward in. Like, what do you want to be better in stewardship when it comes to your food? Do you want to be a person who counts calories? I suck at that, but that's something I'm working on too. Do you want to be a person who has more color on your plate? Do you want to involve your kids more in the cooking process? Like, what is it that you specifically want to be able to do more of? And let's work together to kind of set those intentions. This has been a really good video, and I'm really glad that you guys were here with me today. I'm proud of myself as well, because this video has kind of just been hanging out, and I didn't know when I was going to come back to it, but I knew I would, and I'm glad that I did, because though this may not be a viral video, or though 800 people may not find this very informative, if just one of you hears me say your best is your best, then by golly, I've done more than I could ever imagine. I'm really glad that you guys are here with me today, and I look forward to talking to you soon. See ya.